Now, like I said in the first part of these two videos, you can see when you're walking through Glashütte, you see that it's a pure watch little village. This is the actual museum. This is where we're going now. Hope you like the impressions. Now, this is Julius Assmann. Funny how you spell his surname. From 1827 to 1886. Now, he learned about the watchmaking trade in his hometown of Stettin. He was employed in Berlin, and he heard about the efforts in Glashütte and offers his assistance in building up the watch manufacture in 1850. And with Langer's support as the mayor of Glashütte, he established his own business in 1852. Now, in 1865, he takes Langer's oldest daughter, Marie, as his second wife. Now, this is Karl Moritz Grossmann from 1827 to 1885. Actually, they're still making watches. Well, they started making watches again under this name. So if you see a micro brand from Glashütte Grossmann, the direct history might not be that long, but the history of the name Moritz Grossmann is very long. Now, this guy became friends with Ferdinand Lange during his time as an apprentice with watchmaker Kumne in Dresden. Now, there was a good connection because he spent a lot of time in the military, and at the end he settled down as a watch manufacturer in Glashütte in 1854. And from the museum, it says his manufacture of watches and tools, scientific writing, social commitment to Glashütte, and his active involvement in establishing the German school of watchmaking portray Moritz Grossmann as an outstanding personality. So this is not a watch brand or a person to take for granted. This is one of the big three of Glashütte: Lange, Grossmann, and Assmann. Now, the piece of paper what you see here is Ferdinand Adolf Lange's first application to the Saxon government suggesting founding a watch manufacturer in this poor region. This was in June 25th, 1843. So the Glashütte's whole industry after the war was absolutely in ruins. Stuff was bombed, like a lot of parts of Germany were just destroyed after the war. Now, this is, of course, then East Germany, so now former East Germany. And on July 1st, 1951, the establishment of the VEB Glashütte Uhrenbetrieb merged a lot of these old brands together to form one new brand, GUB. And GUB got a lot of new movements and stuff out, and while they even got to export this, that made that there was some foreign currency coming in. Now, it says in the museum, the Glashütte watchmaker's talent for movement design, production experience, technical skills, and the ability to improvise are excellent attributes for ensuring existence after Germany's reunification. So, especially when the reunification came by, just a few years later, they could go back to their watchmaking that they were supposed to make, like luxury or high standard watchmaking instead of practical watchmaking that was more, and with the materials they had, of course, in East Germany, was more the rule then, and now it's a little bit more luxurious again. Now, the coming 2 to 3 minutes, you will see all these pictures. They are impressions I took from the museum. It's best if you're in the neighborhood, go and watch this museum. It's just such a good museum to visit and have a look around. It just shows you the complete history, more or less, of German watchmaking. What happened in World War I, what happened in World War II, what happened afterwards when East and West Germany was separated. And it's just a very interesting way of looking at how people lived with their watches in that time. It has a lot of different things, like all the tools made from where they started up to now. You will see in the upcoming video on the museum, which is just behind these pictures, you will see a little bit more how the museum layout is, but it's just a wonderful place to go to. I must say, the museums I visited in former East Germany, all of them were just really, really good. So I'll shut up now. You're going to have a good look at the collection I took, and I'll put some music underneath here just to give you some something to listen to while you watch. person owns nothing more precious and costly than time. I love this one. Time doesn't change us, it only unfolds us. Nice. So here are all the houses that you can see in the streets. This is where we walked yesterday. Now all these houses delivered certain parts. Now I'm not going to go into all that, but just nice to know that actually if you walk around here you can do a tour about the town and hear about all the places, like for example here, this house delivered this to the watchmaking, and you have to go to that house to see what it is. So the whole town is just one big factory. Wow, this is just a lot to do, so I'm gonna give you some highlights here. Look at that, this is just the second room. I got 2 more floors to go. Now here you see a minute repeater from 1883 made by Moritz Grossmann. And a lot of these watches were actually made for the American market because they were even more of a big buyer of watches than Germany was. So even in that time, loads of these watches went to the US, mainly for rich people. So this is one of the museum's most valuable possessions. It is the actual book of sales of all the watches up till 1951, from 1867, 76, sorry. And all these Verkaufsbucher, they will list every watch, every number, where it was sold, who it was sold to, price and everything. So if you have a Lange watch, you can get it authenticated here. And you'll just go, well, probably not, these books have been digitalized, I would say. But hardly ever has there been a company that has so many records so securely that you could actually know for sure that your watch is genuine when and where it was made, with every other information about it. That's quite unique. Wow, look at these watches. These are World War II watches. These are huge. This is, wait, I'll show you like this. This is a 10 centimeter watch. Absolutely humongous. Pilot's wristwatch. Walking around here, I see how little the watch community actually knows about Glashütte and their watchmakers, because they're always talking about Lange, and that's where I'll probably make the most pictures of. But there is Moritz Grossmann, there is Union, there's so many different watchmakers out there that make fantastic watches. So that Lange is the best here. It's kind of a thing that people tell themselves, you know, and that's why they can make all this money. But in general, you can have Lange, but you can have a Union, you can have a Wempe, like here. There's just so many different styles, so many different watches of such high quality that, again, it's all in the mind of the people wanting it. And it's the same with Rolex. When you look at Swiss watches, Rolex isn't the best, it's just the most popular one. It's exactly the same with Glashütte. So I always say, don't buy a watch because you think it's going to make money. Buy a watch because you like it and you like its history. Wow. Watches, 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 watches. And these are the watches. And these are the calibers. It just goes on and on and on. So the three majors: Moritz Grossmann, Julius Assmann, and Adolf Lange. Well, it's been a few years since I've been here, but Dresden is just as beautiful as the last time I saw it. What a stunning view, what a stunning city it is. Wow. So especially for you guys, I drove from Glashütte to Dresden. Beautiful town, city, to see the Glashütte shops and the Lange shops. In Dresden, this is the first shop they'll show you. This is a Wempe shop. Of course, Tag Heuers, but we know these. The Tudors we know. The Breitlings we know. The Longines. These are the Wempes. I actually like that one a lot. Some nice Breitlings there. Longines and Omega. Some nice IWCs here. Dresden has some good watches. Cartier, JLC. Nomos.
Glashütte.
Ja, dadurch, dass die ja jetzt aber länger wachsen lassen.
Ja, ist das ein bisschen riskant, weil Luft im Hals.
Und ich will halt, wisst ihr, dass ich immer hingehe?
So, das wird schnell mehr.
Je laisse nog daar. That's Union. I hope it shows. There's so much light from this side, I can't even see what I'm filming, so I hope it shows in the film. Roger Dubois. Lange.
Hier, ist das zu kurzfristig heute oder soll ich dann bis heute mehr kommen?
Have a look at one of the most beautiful cities in Europe. These are some watches, man. Jesus Christ.